Welcome all to Skilled Trades Sponsor Talk, where you get STTO.ca telling you apprenticeships are one day at a time and not forever. Skilled Trades Tutors Online is telling you get a better start to the trades. And now, Sponsor Talk delves into you and the workplace. So we'll move it on from here. Now, in this episode, we'll discuss how working safely must start with a control of hazardous energy using a lockout system. You guys have probably heard about that. There's all these ways of being able to hold back energy that's dangerous. So they talk about a lockout system. You might even be involved in one where you have your own lock or other people have locks that you've seen. But that's just to make sure that nobody gets hurt. So this system has assigned responsibilities for certain roles, of course. Not everybody's going to be doing the same thing. Everybody's got their role. So we start with the roles and responsibilities. They have to be taken up by the permit issuer. He has a certain way of locking. The permit receiver has a certain way of locking. Can't get around that one. The area authority has a certain way of locking. And then last but not least, the worker does. So they all got a room in there because the issuer's got to look after the whole thing. He's in charge. The receiver has to be able to identify the work he's doing and from what department he's from. The area authority, they've got equipment all over their plant. They can lock out anything. It's their stuff. So they use their locks. And then the worker, well, he just has to make sure that whoever he's working with, they know he's there. So let's go and take a look. Okay, permit issuer. Permit issuer has control of a lockbox of any control of hazardous energy. They ultimately administer the associated paperwork and seal the lockbox with a special lock that can only be removed by the issuer. So that's a very important rule. When they lock, whatever they lock, nobody takes it off. That's very important. They run the paperwork. Next, permit receiver. Well, permit receiver are the ones that write up the permit to work paperwork. So they have all the details what is going to be happening, but they still are involved because it's their project. They are the ones that use specially colored department locks. By adding that to the system, you know what area is working, what department, what area is working on whatever the project is, because they all have different colors, different trades. It's just a way of associating it with a department. That provide issuers with information where the receiver is from. Yeah, like what trade or what they're from exactly. Now, area authorities use specialized colored locks for local isolations of any of their equipment within their plant. So any of the little stuff, they have special colors that that's done by the plant operator or the area authority. It prepares for work that will be occurring later, and all the while coordinating with the permit issuer as to the progress of the lockout. So if they're isolating something and somebody wants to work on it, of course they're going to tell them it's not done yet. We have, something to do. Once it's all done, then people can get involved. Whoever needs to get involved to get to work will know, because the issuer will know that the area authorities finished his isolation of his piece of equipment. The worker, the plain old worker. Workers have the responsibility of using their personal locks on any work, whether they're doing the isolation themselves or whether others are doing the isolation alongside of them. Okay, the idea of a personal lock is it's telling everybody you're part of the team. You're part of the ones out there doing the work. If there's 4 people, there'll be 4 personal locks. So that is a very important thing. You're going to make sure people know that you're on that job working with your personal lock there. Anybody looking at the lockbox will be able to know who's working on it. And 2, these locks must be removed at the end of the worker's shift, as they are no longer part of the work. If you've left, you take your lock with you because you're not there. If you stay, leave your lock there. But make sure to take it when you leave, because that demonstrates that all the workers have left if there's no more locks. It's a good system. Okay, episode recap. The lockout system is used to execute work safely and to make sure that all involved do their part in the control of hazardous energy. That's the number one thing. Nobody wants to have any surprises. With a better workplace safety culture, we have the right PPE needed and find ways of not getting injured on the job site. That's a common goal every time. With whatever systems we use, it's to make sure we have the right protection and make sure that we're not injured. Because getting home safely is always the priority. And that's for all. Now, we're going to leave yesterday behind, aim for a new tomorrow, empower yourself now with STTO Apprenticeship Sponsor. That'll change you into a new direction. Sometimes that's all it takes is a new direction. And, of course, if you're part of the apprentice crew, you'll keep your tools and thoughts clean, your mind alive and awake, be fit for duty during your workday, and always wear PPE the right way. And, of course, apprenticeships are one day at a time and not forever. Any questions should be directed to me, Guy LaRochelle. My email's there. And as always, we will see you on the next one. STTO Sponsor Talk out.